My name's Craig Twigg and I'm a professional Ironman triathlete. It's basically a triathlon which is swimming, biking and running. But Ironman describes the distance of the triathlon. There's various different distances, but Ironman was the original triathlon. Back in the late 70s there was a group of servicemen based in Hawaii having an argument in a pub about who was the fittest. One of them was a swimmer, one of them was a runner, one of them was a cyclist. And in their drunken swallow, if you like, they decided to do a series of races. One of them was I think it was the Hawaii rough water swim, which happens to be 2.4 miles long. The other one, they were going to ride around the island, which happened to be 112 miles. And then they were going to do the Honolulu Marathon, which obviously is a 26-mile run. And that's how the distances came about. They called it Ironman because of the severity of it and the heat of the place. Past, when Ironman started, it was seen as an adventure, and it was seen as this massive event that was, very much unattainable for a lot of athletes. And I think you've got to be kind of like a single-minded, selfish type of person to be able to not just do one, but to train for one. Obviously, there's a lot of hours involved in the training on your own, and a lot of hours when you're racing where you're on your own as well. So you've got to be comfortable with your own company for one. And you've got to be very self-disciplined. Some of the best guys are, quite loners, almost. They go away and train as hermits, on their own, just go and get it done. I kind of like that sometimes myself, and I think you need to be a certain type of person to be able to do that. I've never got to a point physically or mentally where I've said to myself, this is it, I'm there. Whether I'll ever get to that point, I don't know. I've never done a race where I've gone, that was the perfect race. I think certainly with Ironman, because it's such a long day and you go through so many ups and downs physically, mentally, I think it would be very, very difficult to obtain the perfect event where everything is just easy and just goes and goes and goes the way you want it. I think if it ever does that, then you might say to yourself, okay, I've done it, but until I get to that point, I don't know. I've certainly never reached that yet, and I'm always looking for ways to improve and ways to get better, and I certainly don't think I've reached anywhere near my potential yet, both mentally or physically, and certainly not in a race situation anyway. So the sport's too young to know as to whether there's any negative effects health-wise. I think the lifestyle is obviously very healthy because you're eating healthily, you're getting outside, you're training, you're staying fit, but you can take it too far. There's a big stigma with professional athletes to be, got to be light, got to be thin, got to be skinny. And there's certain athletes that have had eating disorders because of it, which obviously is very, very unhealthy. So you've got that side of it. There's also the side that because you are trying to push yourself more and more and more, you'll go into an overtrained syndrome. So you start to get ill. You start to get a lot of colds. You can get injuries start picking up very, very easy because the immune system's so low. You can get to a point where you suppress the immune system so much that you start developing things like glandular fever. You start developing that, you're going to be out for a couple of years. So it's a fine line as to whether it's a healthy lifestyle or not. It can be taken too far. And then the actual event itself, they've done research on it. In an Ironman, you actually age your body at a molecular level 20 years. Okay, so during an Ironman, I age myself 20 years. Your body recovers and goes back to normal, but that just shows that the amount of stress that you put your body under in an 8 hour period, 8 or 9 hour period, you put your body under the stress that it would over 20 years. So, is it healthy? I don't know.
Where do you hope to be like a year from now?
As sitting here as a Kona Ironman world champion. Yeah, probably not training in the UK. Probably in Tenerife or somewhere training, which I'm planning on doing in January. So I don't know. I'll probably, hopefully, have started a family then as well. So we'll see.